Deborah Monison is the president of Boston Financial and Equity Corporation, my super, and also a shero of mine that I love dearly and look up to. And Debbie hired me back in 1999. It sounds crazy to say that now that we're almost exiting 2020, but yeah, I was hired in 1999 originally as a fill-in for the receptionist and some part-time help with the contracts department. And at the time I was going to Suffolk University at night, so I needed something full-time during the day. I had come from another company, and Debbie gladly hired me, and I was glad to be there. It was a new experience, and it was a temp position that was supposed to last for about 3 months, I believe. And towards the end of 3 months, she called me into the interview conference room and said, "Do you want a permanent job in the sales department?" And I was like, "Yes!" Oh my gosh. What we do, which is venture capital equipment leasing. It was really a joy to see her at work. And I might sound like I'm fangirling, but I kind of am, because I learned so much from her then. And when she asked me to attend my first conference, which is where we met, not my first conference, but my first conference, I believe, was in 2000 in Atlanta. And I subsequently met you at one of those conferences, and it was such a great time. And I would visit a DV agency in the city that we were in, and I still do today, and sort of talk to the staff there about what services they offer, how can people find them, and then sort of put a face to what, again, help looks like, because for me as a survivor back then, I just did not know. And the idea of help, when presented to me, was daunting. So, like I said, I people didn't know then, I really tried to keep it under wraps. I would, wrap up my visit and splash out, the visit on social media. But as time went on, folks would ask, "Well, what did you do today, Laverne? What have you done, since you landed?" I'm like, "Well, I went and visited a DV shelter." What?
Oh, right.
And so that spawned, a conversation. And from that, other conversations spawned. And people started to confide in me about their experience. And so I'm talking men and women in our industry that were saying me too. And if not me too, their sister was affected by it, their daughter is affected by it. Like, I have countless confidential stories over the years from people who have been affected by this issue. And so when we talk about these numbers, the 1 in every 4 women, the 1 in every 7 men, the 1 in every 3 teens, that does not have a barrier. So you don't, become a professional and then all of a sudden, I don't want anything to do with domestic violence. It's in your backyard, right? Whether you like it or not, as a bystander.